I'm Tracy Sinclair. Welcome to this edition of In-Depth Alaska. As we move through the holiday season, there are more and more reports of people being scammed. Reporter Lauren Maxwell sat down with U.S. Postal Inspector Alexander Laum to discuss what you should do to protect yourself and what to do if you're a victim of fraud or theft through the mail.
I think the purpose of this is it's holiday time. Is it fair to say that some of the postal scams that you're seeing increase during this period?
Yes, just because it's the holiday season, people are using the mail more to send letters, to send packages all across the country to and from Alaska. So we just want the public to be aware during this season that there's an uptick in people trying to take advantage of that.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the common ways that they're doing that?
Well, I think we've probably all received it at this point, either some kind of text message or email, phishing or smishing as it would be called, purporting to be the U.S. Postal Service, saying, click on this link, you have a package in a warehouse or something like this. The U.S. Postal Service will never send you anything like that. We're never going to send you a text message or an email trying to get information from you or solicit a payment from you or anything like that. So those are the number one thing we're trying to just inform the public, make sure they know, and just avoid clicking on those things.
Mm-hmm. I got one recently, and I guess I didn't know that the Postal Service would never contact you in that way. I thought that was a possibility, although I recognize this one was a little dubious. I just clicked into the link, and it was from, the email address was like somebody's grandma.Pottstown or something.
Yep.
It just made no sense at all, which I guess is another thing people can do is look at where it's actually coming from.
Yep, it's like all spam messaging. Just look what the actual email address is. Something's going to be fishy. There's something going to be wrong. There's going to be misspellings on it. It's going to have the wrong address, something like that. But just for everybody's knowledge, like unless you sign up for like informed delivery or you've reached out to the Postal Service, we will not be actively emailing you about parcels in that manner. It is being used by fraudsters because people trust the Postal Service, so they take advantage of that to try to defraud and go after the public, which is sad.
Okay, and they're looking for personal information?
Yes, so if you click that link or you respond to those messages, they're either going to try to elicit funds from you, because some of them will be saying, pay us for your postage or something like this, or they are going to be trying to elicit personal identifiable information, which they can then utilize later on to try to get you involved in some kind of fraud or use that to affect your credit score, something like that. Both of which are bad things.
Sure. I was interested to know there are counterfeit stamps. I didn't realize that's a big problem.
That is a very large problem we're seeing right now. So the counterfeit stamps, it's one of those common things that we should all think about. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is true. Forever stamps are priced accordingly. You can buy them from the post office or big box retailers, anything like that. If you go on to like a Facebook marketplace, an online marketplace, and you're seeing forever stamps or postal stamps marked at 50, 70% off, there's a good chance that they're not real stamps. So you're going to get taken advantage of, and your package or your letter is not going to get where it's intended to go.
Yeah, what happens? You put on unknowingly fake postage. It doesn't get delivered, I guess.
It won't get delivered. It might get delayed. It might get returned to you at some point. It depends what kind of fake postage is, but more importantly, you're not going to get the product or the service that you're trying to ask for. Mm-hmm. So if it sounds too good to be true, it is more than likely too good to be true.
Now, there are some situations, I know you recommend getting stamps through the post office. Some retailers sell stamps, and I want to say I have seen stamps at some of these stores that claim to be a little discounted. Is that a possibility, or?
There's maybe some of the big box retailers will offer something like that, but yet again, it's the 50% off. It's anything that seems excessive or something like that. Normally, if you can get them over the counter from a big box retailer, you're relatively safe, but it's the large discounts that are the major issue for us. And all of these things, they can be reported to us at uspis.gov. We have multiple reporting tools there, or you can give us a call at 877-876-2455.
If this happens to you, or you spot something.
Yeah, counterfeit stamps or fraud. If the fraud or anything like that you suspect, for the phishing or the smishing scams like those, we highly encourage you to go to the uspis.gov and report those there. Spam at uspis.gov is where those can be forwarded to, and we do investigate those because obviously we don't like the public to be taken advantage of in that way.
Okay, the big one everybody fears this time of year, they're all ordering things online, are those porch pirates, people that steal your packages. What are your thoughts on that?
So we're just like the other retailers out there. People are getting stuff mailed all the time. The proactive way to do it is when you're mailing things out, don't go directly to the mailbox, put it over the counter, mail it that way. When you're picking things up or receiving things in the mail, don't leave your mail out overnight in your mailbox or anything like that, because that just gives them more opportunity. A locking mailbox is a great mechanism. As far as your porch is concerned, it's all about us and our community, right? So if you have a camera, make sure it's looking at the area of that to help us investigate those things going forward. We have great partnerships with APD and AST. We work together regularly to go after these kind of things. But it's that be aware, pay attention to your porch. Don't leave things out longer than they need to. That kind of the best way to protect yourself from those issues.
Maybe ask a neighbor if you know you're not going to be around to keep an eye out. Or,
you can ask a neighbor if you're going to be out of town for a while. You can put a mail hold on so that none of your mail gets delivered at that time, and then it all just comes to you right when you get back. Very safe way.
I know some people also have things delivered to their workplace for that reason.
I think we all do that just so we can hide which presents we're buying for our loved ones, right?
But that's another thing. So if this does happen to you, if you have something that, it says it was delivered, you never saw it, maybe you have video of someone taking it or not, I mean, what is your recourse?
I would highly recommend, one, you can contact APD, file a local police report, or you can contact us. Yet again, that phone number, that's our national hotline that will reroute to us, that 877-876-2455. Or you can report it online at uspis.gov. We do take reports of mail theft very seriously all across the state.
Well, and I'm not doubting that, but I mean, how often do people get reimbursed, get their packages back? Does that actually happen?
We're criminally investigating, so we're going after the people that are actually stealing the parcels in that way. Any kind of the parcels that we can get back, obviously we want to return them, and we work with the retailers out there. So the documentation obviously helps, having a police report, and that'll help you get reimbursed if it's one of those kind of products. But we're actively trying to go after the people that would be taking advantage and trying to steal your mail.
Would you recommend filing a police report and contacting the postal inspector?
I think so. I think that'd be a good means just to make sure. And yet again, we work with APD and AST all the time, but I always recommend a local police report as well as filing with us.
Okay. Anything else you think that's important to add?
No, I'm very aware of the frauds occurring right now. They like to target older citizens in Alaska. They like to go after us, especially during this holiday season, and take advantage of those things. So I just want everybody to be aware of that, be on the lookout, and if it sounds too good to be true, it is too good to be true.
Okay. Just out of curiosity too, do you have any kind of numbers for how much fraud is costing?
It's billions across the country right now. I don't have anything exact numbers wise, but it is a very large term, and it affects not just the Postal Service, but all services out there, online and offline.
Okay. All right. Well, we want to thank you for being with us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
And appreciate the tips.
Thanks for listening to this edition of In Depth Alaska. Please like and subscribe to this podcast.